Hey everybody, welcome back to Havoc Maker Studio. My name is John, and yes, it has been a hot minute since I have done a video. Some of you have actually been kind enough to ask where I've been, and I've already told some of you already know what's been going on, a lot of health stuff, and I will get to that at the end of the video. But right now I want to talk about my favorite company, Games Workshop, and I mean this in a good way, which in the past I've been a little critical of them. So at some points a little too critical, other points right on point. But here we're going to talk about some good stuff. So to give you a little bit of a history, early 2000s, I want to say it was early 2000s, maybe 2002-ish time frame, Games Workshop put out a chapter approved, and I believe they also put it in a White Dwarf article where we had the Kroot, which is a subservient race of the Tau, and that was a mercenary Kroot army rule set, right? And we had some amazing looking conversions, Kroot with wings and Kroot with like big muscly arms and all that kind of stuff, some really cool conversions, and you could build a full Kroot army. Now, we haven't seen that since then. We just now run around, we just get some Kroot hounds, Krootoks, that sort of thing. And that's it. Not a lot's going on, but that was really insanely popular. And people like those niche armies that are really just visually and even rules wise kind of a spectacle. You know, you might not be a top tier army, but it's really fun to play, really fun to convert and paint. So fast forward, then we get to the Blackstone Fortress box set, which includes a brand new Kroot. I don't remember if he was a Kroot Shaper or if he was just like a Kroot Warlord or anything like that. But it's our first time seeing a brand new Kroot model and in plastic. That was amazing. Now, keep going a little later on. We got another Kroot model that was an event exclusive, kind of forgettable, but it was the template for the basic Kroot that we've got coming out now. So retailers could start last week ordering their Kroot hunting packs that are going to be going on pre-order for us this week. So I believe that's the 23rd of March, and then let's double check. Yeah, 23rd of March. And will be released on the 30th of March. So retailers have had it, the purchase or the ability to purchase it, or at least pre-order it a week prior. Now we all get to play catch up, and it'll be coming out on the 30th. That's something we'll talk about in a future episode. What's going on with Games Workshop on how they are kind of screwing over the friendly local game stores, which is really bizarre, considering your friendly local game stores are really the lifeblood of the company. So we'll talk about that in a future episode. But let's take a look right now at the Kroot hunting pack. We did some, I don't want to, not haberdash, or we kind of did some very bad-ish number crunching. This box in total looks to be about $300 in value. You're going to be getting it for about $80 off, which that's not something that's nothing new. If you look at the boxes like the boarding patrol, is it boarding party, or the combat patrol boxes that are coming out for, or whatever the equivalent is for this Age of Sigmar, they're about $160. You're saving about $30, $40 depending on which box you're getting. Some have greater value. Then we get to these boxes. Some of them have greater value and some have lesser value, but it is always a valuable buy. Now, looking real quick at the roadmap, we've already had Dark Angels come in. What should be, if we were to follow the order here, we should be getting Orcs next, but for some reason Tau Empire has now been kind of pushed to the front, and we know that Codex Adeptus Custodes is coming out in a box. I think it's the Auric Battle Group or something like that. We're going to get a bunch of Adeptus Custodes, the book, or the Codex and the cards. Are they going to be pushed forward and Orcs going to be pushed behind? Or is it going to be Tau, then Orcs, then Custodes? I don't know what's going to happen, folks. We'll be paying attention to that in the near future. So That aside, let's take a quick look at this box set. So we know you're getting a brand new, or actually I think it's not even brand new. Well, it is brand new. I don't think there's ever been a class or a character type or anything like that. This one is called the War Shaper. I'm assuming he is the leader of this Kroot hunting pack, and he is backed by a flesh shaper, which is probably like a shaman. They're usually, if it's the type of people I'm thinking of, Kroot that I'm thinking of, they're the ones that help guide the genetic improvements of the hunting pack. Basically, what corpses are we going to eat and try to absorb their genetic material to make us stronger, faster, tougher, smarter, that sort of thing. Now, this box is also going to include a Krootox with I don't know what that gun is called, but it looks beefy. It looks kind of like an futuristic double barrel Mark 19. I don't know why you'd want a double barrel on that, but hey, whatever. I'm not going to argue. It looks badass. And now this is a big improvement over the old metal models. And then we got the new Krootox Rampagers, which I am assuming are just by looking at them, their design and everything, that they are a strictly close combat unit. Probably a fast attack choice, close combat unit. Then we know we got all these 20 of them, mind you, 20 Kroot warriors. And it looks like there's going to be a leader type, and it looks like you can have up to 2 special weapons in there. And these are all new sculpts. They're not the old ones, which there's nothing wrong with the old ones if you really enjoy them, but these new ones look slick. And I love that their action poses look really badass, man. I really want to get my hands on them because I think they'd be a lot of fun to paint. That's just me personally. I'm not looking at them for the play style, but more for just the fun of the hobby. Now, this box is also going to include the data cards and the Tau Codex. Now, here's the question. Here is a question, and maybe somebody knows the answer. You can put it down in the comments below. Since this box set has got moved up forward, does this count as the Tau Codex or Codex Tau Empire release for spring, or is this just a preview of the release, kind of like what they did with Dark Angels, where I think it was last year, or maybe the beginning of this year, they came out with that Dark Angels box that had all the Terminators in it, had the Codex supplement in it, data cards and all that jazz. And then about a week ago or 2, we actually had the Dark Angels official release with the Codex, Combat Patrol, all that stuff. Now, is it going to be just like that with the Tau? And then so our next major release is still Codex Orcs and then Tau Codex later, or is this counting as the Tau release? I think it's the latter. No, the former. I think it means that the Tau Codex release is going to be a little bit later on down the line. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So now, this aside, I want you to take note that at the end of summer 2024, there is something that says redacted. Right, so after the Adeptus Sororitas and Genestealer cults, we have some sort of release coming down the line. Now, there's been teasers, and there might be more teasers. In about 3 days, we have the Adepticon preview or release, or not release, the review. No, preview. Let's just go with preview. That's going to be happening at Adepticon in about 3 days. I think it's going to be on this coming Wednesday or Thursday. So what is going to be seen there? Well, Games Workshop put out a funny little post on their official Facebook page. I don't know about Twitter, and I don't remember seeing it on Instagram, but I did see it on Facebook. And man, this set the internet on fire. Chapter Master Valric, his YouTube channel, man, that guy had a tinfoil hat on. He was all over the place with this, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad other people got to this before I did, because it really, I can kind of put it together what they were, or I can see what they're laying down. I can smell what they're stepping in. I think you know what I'm trying to say. So if you're new to this, you might have missed this. You might not have even heard the buzz, but we'll go through this. So at the top there for the emoji challenge, our first one for 5 points, and we'll talk about those points, what they mean here in a second. And that right there would be a shout out to Chapter Master Valric for that one. So we have the square with the number 4 in it plus the crown. I'm in agreement with everybody. Okay, the crown is referring to a king. It's a 4-letter word. Wolf is a 4-letter word. Russ is a 4-letter word. So is this, the Wolf King? I think that's what that stands for. Could they have been a little bit more obvious by putting the wolf there? Yes, but I think they're just going to be, they're just trying to be as cryptic as possible. So we got that. I'm pretty sure that means the Wolf King or Russ the King, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to move down to the next one. For 10 points, there's the bear. I'm assuming that's a bear. Somebody falling or somersaulting, but I think it's falling. And then the hand that's put up in that gesture is usually, hey, stop, right? Or in this case, I think it just means just a hand. So if you're not familiar, in the Horus Heresy books, one of the earlier books, I think it was, there was 2 books that involved the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns. And on one of them, and I forget which one it was, there was a remembrancer, basically a civilian that got effed up, but they kind of souped him up with some chemicals and stuff and some genetic engineering. And so he was kind of a badass, but he was following around the Space Wolves while they were killing off, I can't remember if it was Dark Angels or they were not Dark Angels, Dark Eldar. At any rate, he kept calling Bjorn the Fellhand, he kept calling him a different name. I can't remember. And then at the end of the book, they're like, nope, his name is not Bear. That's right. He kept calling him Bear. The name's Bjorn, right? So that's how you would normally say it in like Swedish or Finnish, Norse style terminology. So Bjorn falling or Fellhand. So Bjorn Fellhand. If you're not familiar, he is currently, next to Rubute Gilliman and Belisarius Cawl. Before them, he had been the longest living, well, if you count that as living, Space Marine. He's a dreadnought now, but a Space Marine since the Horus Heresy. But now we got Rubute Gilliman, we have Belisarius Cawl, and we also have Lionel Johnson. So he is amongst the oldest living Imperial characters. And he's also was put in charge of the Space Wolves by Leman Russ at the end of the Horus Heresy, when Leman Russ, I think it was during the scouring, he goes after the Chaos Space Marines that fled into the Eye of Terror. So we're going to go down to 15 points. 15 points, that means no or stop or something like that. So I think that means this whole line is no wolves on Fenris. And if you're not familiar with that line, that is a very famous line, especially during the Horus Heresy and even during the 40K universe. There are no wolves on the planet Fenris. And this is where the Space Wolves come from. And there are wolves there, but they're not wolves. What are they? If you know, you know. We'll maybe cover that later on whenever we have confirmation that Leman Russ is 100% coming out. So, kind of wrap this up, we got the Wolf King, we've got Bjorn Fellhand, and no wolves on Fenris, giving us major indications that there's something Space Wolfy coming down the line. Does this mean we're going to see Leman Russ? It would be a shocker for us to get 2 loyalist or 2 Primarchs in a single codex. I think the last time, or not codex, but an edition. I think the last time we got Angron at the end of 9th, and God, I can't think of Smelly Boy, the wheezing butterfly winged for, gosh darn it, why can't I think of his name? For the Death Guard. Oh my God, I can't think of his stinky name, and I had to build and paint that model for somebody. Anyways, I think they were in the same, both in 9th edition. I could be wrong. Put down in the comments if I'm wrong, but or the name of that Primarch. At any rate, so I think Angron was at the end of 9th, beginning of 10th, or somewhere around there. Anyways, we haven't had a double Primarch in an edition yet. And if we were to get 2 Loyalist Primarchs in this edition, that would be amazing. Now, if it is not Lionel Johnson, but Leman Russ coming back, what do you think he's going to look like? Is he going to still, since time passes differently there, is he going to look pretty much the same as he went in? Or is he going to be kind of a more older, gnarled kind of like cracked skin, like white in his beard and his hair, and maybe an eye patch, maybe he lost an eye, and his armor's all. He's going to be like looking very savage looking, or is he going to be looking pretty much the same as when he went in, just a little bit, maybe dinged up a little bit? But do you think he's going to look as majestic as he did when he went in, and kind of keep up with that theme that we have Lionel Johnson and Robute Gilliman kind of majestic looking? Or are we going to get some hard battle? Somebody's been battling for 10,000 years, over 10,000 years. Is that what we're going to get? I think that's what we're going to get. So let me know what you guys think. Now, keeping all this in mind, let's take a look real quick before we wrap this up at the end of the year, or at the end of the summer. So we have a redacted codex army. Is it going to be a loyalist? Is it going to be alien? Is it going to be chaos? I think it might end up being the Space Wolf Codex, and it'll be a big release. Now, here's the reason why. Remember those points that we talked about? And shout out to Chapter Master Valric for this. He looked up, or he added up these points and did some searching for like the Norse calendar, and I followed suit. Let's pull this up here. Norse calendar. We go all the way down here to the end. Tim Vanover, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, that is the last 2 months of the summer, the fourth and fifth month of the summer. So that right there is kind of indicating that, hey, this is what we're going to be seeing for the Space Wolf release. Is this the right time? He's calling it the Wolf time. I'm not sure how he reached that decision, but is that what we're going to be seeing? And it would be perfect, I think, for us to get it at that point. So let me know down in the comments below what you think. Is that what we're going to see? Is it going to be a release similar to what we just got with the Kroot hunting pack in that earlier Dark Angels box? Or is this going to be a full-on release and we're going to see really, I would say, the first major release of models since Sisters of Battle? I mean, we're going to probably see all sorts of new Space Wolf kits, maybe some new unit types, maybe new Wolfen models. The Wolfen models are okay, but I would love to see some new ones. Are we going to see something new? I hope so. We might find out this week. Now, to kind of get you guys caught up to date real quick, last video I did was Gen Con. It was August of last year. During Gen Con, well, prior to Gen Con, I had hurt my back pretty badly. And then at Gen Con, I just made it worse. I ended up fracturing I got 2 fractures in my spine, my L spine. I've got a compressed disc. Somehow, which I didn't know you could get. I thought you were born with it. I've developed minor scoliosis in my back on top of the fractures, on top of the compressed disc. And I've done the arthritis has rapidly progressed. Now, all this has contributed to lots of pain, lots of mental depression because I haven't been able to do anything. And I've been hopped up on painkillers and muscle relaxers while trying to do physical therapy for all these months. And it's not doing much. So that's kind of why I have not been doing videos. Not even kind of why. That's why I haven't been doing anything. I have not been in any physical or mental shape to be able to do it. I'm feeling a lot better now. But it's even me being in this chair right now, doing a video for this long is kind of pushing it. Reason is all that damage is affecting the nerves and on my lower right back. And if I nudge my shoulder or twist my back, or I get up wrong, or I don't get up in a certain way, I'm in immediate pain and my back seizes up and I collapse on the floor, unable to move for a while. That is straight legit, and it is the worst thing. So that's the reason why I haven't been doing videos or streaming. So all that's going to be changing. The VA, thankfully, finally got up off their butt, and they're really helping me out. It's still a long process, but we're going to get there. So now that I'm at least back into a position where I can be streaming, and keep putting out videos. We'll slowly pick up that pace. The editor that I had lined up has found a different gig, so I'm not going to have them editing. I'm going to figure that out later. So the videos going forward will still be these raw videos like this, but you guys have stuck around for this long, which I am super, super thankful for. And when I do a official return to streaming and recording videos, I have several products brand new, ready to go. I've got a Star Wars Shatterpoint core box. I know some people have been interested in that. They just weren't sure if they wanted to buy into another skirmish game or not. So I've got a brand new starter box for that, new and wrapper, ready to go. We will be having a contest. We'll probably announce it. I will probably announce it at the end of this month once I get all the logistics figured out for this, right? At any rate, I do appreciate everybody sticking around and as a subscriber and putting the word out there, because I've gotten subscribers even when I wasn't doing videos, which I was really kind of stoked about, and I'm really super appreciate. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys sometime soon in the future. See ya.